business segments. The opening bell, where we see activities from our selected stock exchanges. The global business, where we bring you up to speed on business activities making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Report, as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
Good morning. It's Friday, the 6th day of December 2024. And today, as always, we'll take a look at commodity reports and activities from our selected exchanges on the segment Opening Bell. Business news stories from around Africa and the rest of the world will come to you on Global Business. We'll also take out the time to look at issues affecting businesses in the southeastern part of Nigeria on the Eastern Business Report. And finally, activities and conversations from around the market will come to you on Afia. The Afia Business Morning takes center stage every weekday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. My name is Ubon Kings. Welcome to the Afia Business Morning. To get started, let's bring you up to speed on things happening around us on the Afia News Update. Please stay.
Hello and welcome to the news update. I'm Joan Odenibo.
We begin the news update where the FEET Group has officially opened the FEET Microfinance Bank, a new initiative designed to help individuals and businesses better manage their finances. Meanwhile, in Abuja, the Nigerian Senate has passed for third reading Investment and Securities Repelling Enactment Bill 2024. Still in Abuja, 4 members of the House of Representatives have defected from the Labour Party to the All Progressives Congress. Onto the foreign scene, Pakistan's former Prime Minister, Imran Khan, was indicted on Thursday on charges of inciting attacks against the military, a case stemming from deadly anti-government rallies led by his party last year. And finally, in the update, former Nigerian international Ndubi Sinda has been named the new head coach of Nigeria National League club Idel FC.
And that's the much you have on the news updates. Do also follow us now on social media platforms at Afia TV Official. I'm Joan Odenibo. And thanks for watching.
Trading on the floors of the Nigerian Exchange is open today. The exchange in London opened an hour ago. The New York Exchange is yet to open, while in China, opening bells went off at 2 a.m. local time. I want to welcome you to the opening bell segment. And first, we'll take a quick look at some business news stories making the rounds. And starting from the continental economy, is reported that Google Cloud and Air France KLM are partnering on AI technology. It's reported that Google Cloud has announced that it has partnered with Air France KLM to deploy generative artificial intelligence AI technology, where the Franco-Dutch airline group's 551 operating aircraft, 93 million passengers carried in 2023, and its commercial and cargo flights generated large amounts of data, which would be used by Google Cloud's AI solution. And away from that, stories from the global scene, is reported that Bank of America is signing with FIFA despite no TV deals. World Cup sponsor Bank of America has teamed with FIFA for a second time, signing for the Club World Cup that still has no broadcast deals, just over 6 months ahead of the start of the games. While games at the next World Cup, co-hosted with Canada and Mexico, will be watched by hundreds of millions globally, mostly on free-to-air public networks, The Club World Cup broadcast picture is unclear. Details of this story will come to you on Global Business. And moving away from that, let's go straight to the floors of our featured exchanges. Unlike they say, charity begins at home, so we start on the floors of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where it's reported that the NGX All-Share Index as at yesterday closed on the low, falling by 0.06% to close at 98,114.13 points. We also interested to know that a total of 722,998,242 shares valued at 12,840,112,437 naira for kobo were traded across 8,495 deals with equity capitalization of 59,473,533,391,340 naira 26 kobo. Now we're going to take a look at the biggest gainer and losers of the day. The biggest gainer of the day was UPL, which rose by 10%. Other gainers were the likes of Cornerstone Insurance, Sterling Nigeria, Suna Shore, and Gold Brewers. On the other hand, however, Red Star Exchange topped the losers list with a decline of 10%. Other losers were FT and Cocoa, MPFM, CRPK, Nemeth, and Prestige. We will go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll be looking at activities from other selected exchanges. I'm talking about the likes of the New York Stock Exchange, London, the Chinese Stock Exchange, which of course comprises the Shenzhen and Shanghai exchanges. The Afia Business Morning indeed opening bell. We'll be right back after this time out. Stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and you are watching Opening Bell. We're going straight to the floors of other featured exchanges and continue rather with the New York Stock Exchange, where, well, it's mostly rises in index values across the board, except of course for the commodities that are down, being the NYSE US 100 index and the NYSE FANG TM index, which are both down 0.07% and 0.08% respectively. However, the NYSE Composite DJ is up 0.12%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average and S&P 500 Index are both up 0.56% and 0.41%. The Nasdaq Composite and Nasdaq 100 are both up with the same value of 0.90%. And now we take a trip to London, that's the UK, where interestingly is all dips in index values across the board. And FTSE 100 is down 0.29%, the FTSE 250, FTSE 350 and FTSE All-Share Index all down 0.10%, 0.20% and 0.19% respectively. Now the question is, What happens when we go to China? Is there going to be all dips as well, or the reverse will be the case? But then, as seen on the chart this morning, first exchange we're looking at in China is the Shenzhen, and it's all rises in index rises across the board. Shenzhen Confident Index, SZSE Composite Index, China Index all up 0.29%, 0.74%, and 0.36% respectively. Now the question is, will it maintain that kind of momentum when we go to the exchange at Shanghai? Well, the answer is no, because here it's a mixture of rises and dips and index values across board. As a matter of fact, it's an even thing here. The SSE Composite Index, the Star 50 Index, and the SSE 380 Index are all up at 0.13%, 0.25%, and 0.15% respectively. On the other hand, the Star SSE 50 Index, the SSE 180 Index, and the CSI 300 Index are down at 0.16%, 0.34%, and 0.54% respectively. We'll go on another break, and when we return, we'll be looking at commodity prices as well as our consumer price watch in the open market. You may want to follow this program, join in on the conversation on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business, and while you're there, do well to hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And while you're at it, remember you can be part of our social media community. Join us on Instagram with the handle at Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. The Afia Business Morning and indeed Opening Bell will be right back after this time out. Stay tuned. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Afamaga.
I am Shioma Akbala.
My name is Ifunaya Ndule, but I'm living in our market speaking.
You're welcome back, and I am Ubong Kings. Still the Afia Business Morning, and you're watching Opening Bell right here on Afia TV. It's time to check in on commodity prices, and incidentally, it's downward movement for gold today, and indeed all precious metals this morning. Gold is down at 0.37%, silver is down at 0.29%, platinum is down at 0.45%, palladium is also down at 0.85%. Away from that, let's take a look at energy this morning. Energy, well, it's a mixture of rises and dips, with more of dips, by the way, compared to rises. And the only commodities that are up are natural gas, ethanol, and oil Brent, which are up at 2.50%, 0.98%, and 0.44% respectively. However, coal is down at 1.61%, oil bonylite is down at 2.84%, Brass River and Kwaibo are also down, both of them with the same value of 1.94%. Now let's take a look at what's happening as far as industrial metals are concerned. Industrial metals, well, we have more of rises than dips in index values across board, with the two commodities that are down are those of nickel and zinc, which are both down at 0.24% and 0.31% respectively. However, tin on the other hand is up at 0.53%, aluminum is up at 1.42%, lead is up at 1.94%, iron ore, copper are both up 0.72%, 1.08% respectively. You're watching the Afia Business Morning. This indeed is Opening Bell. You may want to follow this program and join in on the conversation on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap into the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business, and while you're there, don't forget to hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe as well, so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. While you're at it, do to follow us on Instagram with the handle at Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. Up next, we'll be taking a look at the hikes in prices of food commodities in the open market, as well as the hikes in fuel prices. And on that note, I will see you on Monday on the Opening Bell when the exchanges reopen for trading. The Afia Business Morning will be right back with the segment Global Business, where we'll be taking a look at business news stories from Africa and the rest of the world. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.
From the commercial nerve center of the Southeastern Nigeria, the Abia State Government and Aba Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Agriculture, ASIMA, invite manufacturers, investors, trade unions, captains of industries, and the general public to the 2024 Aba International Trade Fair Summit and Exhibition. Take advantage of these opportunities to showcase your business to the rest of the world. Improve your sales and brand visibility. Date 28 November to 7th December 2024. Venue Aba Mega Mall along Aba Umaya Expressway, Osisioma, Abia State. This message is endorsed by the Abia State Government and Aba Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Agriculture, ASIMA. For partnership, sponsorship and participation enquiries, visit www.abainternationaltradefair.com. On Facebook at Aba International Trade Fair, on X Aba International Trade Fair, or call Marcus on 0806 605 4420 or Sam on 0802 826 9391. Aba International Trade Fair. Be a part of it.
It's a brand new week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
The Afia Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. The opening bell where we see activities from our select stock exchanges. The global business where we bring you up to speed on business activities, making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
Thank you for rejoining me on the Afia Business Morning. Welcome to Global Business, and here we will be taking a look at business news stories around the continent of Africa and indeed the rest of the world. My name is Ubon Kings. And here are the headlines that we are tracking at the moment. We're starting off with business news stories from the world of tech. Is reported that Google Cloud and Air France KLM are partnering on AI technology. Also on the news this morning, ASML exempted from US curbs on China's tech. And from the world of automobiles, Agnelli family blamed for Stellantis problems. We'll bring you details of the stories and more right after this time out. Stay tuned. You're watching Global Business right here on the Afia Business Morning, and we will begin with business stories from the world of tech, where it's reported that Google Cloud has announced that it has partnered Air France KLM to deploy generative artificial intelligence AI technology Well, the Franco-Dutch airline group's 551 operating aircraft, 93 million passengers carried in 2023, and its commercial and cargo flights generated large amounts of data which would be used by Google Cloud's AI solution in analyzing passenger preferences and travel patterns and predicting maintenance of aircraft. However, Google Cloud's generative AI technology would also be used to enhance flight, airports, and business operations, as well as behaviors, to offer newly tailored travel options and services, while Air France KLM is set to retain full ownership and control of its data. Now, quickly, let's look at something intriguing. Now, the key point in this story is it's pretty much almost in the last paragraph that says that Google Cloud generative AI technology would be used to enhance flight, airports, business operations, as well as behaviors, human behaviors, to offer newly tailored travel options and services, while France KLM is set to retain its full ownership and control of its data. Now, hold up. In other words, this data that has been gathered will be used to serve customers a lot better. Now, imagine being served coffee on a flight, exactly the way you want it, with absolutely no errors. Would you be super pleased or would you cringe? I'll allow you to think about that yourself, but that's pretty much what it is supposed to achieve eventually. Customer preferences underline that. And in a related development, and still from the world of tech, is reported that Europe's second largest tech firm and Dutch computer chip equipment maker ASML has been exempted from the new chip export restrictions on China, where ASML sees a limited impact of the US fresh restrictions on AI chip exports to China and maintains its guidance for 2024 and 2025. However, the tech firm maintained its guidance regarding the fresh US rules, stating that they do not expect any direct material impact on their business, as their share price rose 0.9% to 664 euros at the market close essentially yesterday. Now, for the sake of emphasis, let's look at something very critically here, or for the sake of context maybe, let's make something clear. It was reported, that particular story, that the U.S. Department of Commerce put ASML Holdings and, of course, another company. The other company is Tokyo Electron Limited on its exemption list. Now, they didn't stop there. They went on to say that they need their allies on board with their controls so that they are as comprehensive and effective as possible. Just hold up a moment. Allies, meaning ASML Holdings and Tokyo Electron Limited, are allies in this trade war against China. Anyway, fingers crossed, we'll see how this evolves or what it evolves to eventually, won't we? Moving on to other business news stories, and this time from the pharmaceutical world. It's reported that the French pharma firm Sanofi is seeking to increase insulin production in Beijing as trade wars and tensions between the European Union and China simmer on, where Sanofi is set to invest around 1 billion euros in China to build a new insulin production site in Beijing. Meanwhile, the site, which will be Sanofi's fourth production facility in the country, is to be in an economic development zone near the capital, as the move marks Sanofi's single biggest investment in China. However, Sanofi stated that the aim of the new insulin factory will be to supply the local market. Let's just hold up a moment or two and see something that's worth emphasizing here. Now, despite the U.S. trade war with China and the European Union's trade war with China, a French company, which is still, of course, part of the EU bloc, still sees China as a destination to invest around 1 billion euros to build a new insulin production site in Beijing, pretty much the capital. Now, they are clearly seeing something that the EU bloc, and by extension the US, is not seeing, right? Because an investment of 1 billion euros is a big deal. And not just that, Sanofi stated Now, the aim of this particular new insulin factory would be to supply the local market well. Let's put something in perspective. Eventually, this insulin production, whatever, will still trickle to the European Union. You know why? Because it has been stated, I mean, it's clear on all statistics that the US specifically has the highest rate of obesity. That's just what it is. And of course, all those related issues with obesity, which of course you need insulin to take care of some issues, right? Isn't it? So yeah, the market is still the US, but fingers crossed. We'll see how this pans out, whether or not Sanofi would also be slammed by the EU bloc or even the US for, well, frivolous offenses, particularly having a new factory in China. You know, let's see how that pans out, won't we? Now you're still watching Global Business right here on the Afia Business Morning, Afia TV. Kindly join in on the conversation. I'm watching live on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. While you're there, do well to hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. You can, in the same vein, join us on socials, Instagram more specifically with the handle at @AfiaBusiness_ to be part of our social media community. Up next, we'll be looking at more business news stories, and this time from the automotive world and other things, right after this time out. Stay tuned. Glad to have you rejoin me on the Global Business segment of the Afia Business Morning. Now to the rest of our stories. This time we'll move on to business news stories from the automotive world. It was reported that Italy's Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Infrastructure and Transport, Matteo Salvini, has criticized the Angeli family over car maker Stellantis' problems as the company continues to struggle with weaker sales and falling demand, where the now ex-car chief company's executive officer, Carlos Tavares, who abruptly resigned earlier this week, following Stellantis' disappointing sales and the announcement that it was to close Vauxhall plant in the UK. The Angeli family is Stellantis' biggest shareholder and currently owns about 14.2% of the auto manufacturer, and it has a stake is owned through the Angeli family company Exor, with the family also being the founder of Fiat. Salvini further in the statement stated that the car company's woes were caused more because of its ownership rather than because of the decisions Tavares took during his time as CEO. You know, a few things strike me in this conversation, right? Because this drama to me is gradually unfolding, because one school of thought that had been greatly publicized and peddled and pretty much shoved down the throats of many has been the fact that Stellantis' woes were caused by decisions Tavares, as the ex-CEO, took during his time as the CEO. Now this new dimension comes in, and interesting to know that this revelation is on one side, and another revelation states clearly that the woes of the car company was or is a function of its ownership. I'm talking about the Angeli family. Now, worthy of note also is the fact that, however, Angeli family is Stellantis' biggest shareholder, and at the moment currently owns about 14.2% of the auto manufacturer, and as the stake is owned through their family's company Exor, the family also being the founder of Fiat. You see, now it's clear. Many times when they say when the fish is spoiled, check the head. Get the point? So this is a critical case here, because if the company that's Stellantis is going through all of this, and the Angeli family is the one in charge, in quote, of it, then that should rather pretty much explain a whole lot of things now, wouldn't it? And in an attempt to end this bulletin and steer from the automotive world, it may interest you to know that General Motors, GM, has announced that it would record 2 non-cash charges totaling more than $5 billion on its joint venture in China. One related to the restructuring of the operation and another reflecting its reduced value. GM China's division, once a profit engine for the Detroit company, is now losing money as the company has struggled to compete with car makers in China, the world's largest auto market, who have charged past the US and European rivals, partly buoyed by government subsidies, according to them anyway. Meanwhile, the company expects a charge of $2.6 billion to $2.9 billion for restructuring costs and a charge of $2.7 billion for reduced joint venture value. Now, quickly, let me try to break this down. GM China's division initially used to be the profit engine for GM. That's the truth. But right now, it is losing money because it cannot compete with Chinese car makers. Gospel truth. That's what it is. I keep saying it on the show. Nobody can, right? Because the world's largest auto market is in China. Of course, they keep saying that it's a function of government subsidy money. I keep asking the same question. Why can't their own governments do their subsidies for them too? So it's because of win-win, rather than posing all those taxes, but stir-frying around. Anyway, Reuters tells us more on this GM saga of trying to take more than $5 billion in charges on China operations. Let's take a look.
General Motors told investors on Wednesday it would take a more than $5 billion hit on its joint venture in China, sending its shares lower in morning trading. GM's China division, once a profit engine, is now losing money. The non-cash charges include $2.6 to $2.9 billion for restructuring costs and $2.7 billion for reduced joint venture value. GM has struggled to compete with car makers in China, the world's largest auto market, as they are partly buoyed by government subsidies. GM partners with SAIC Motors in China to build Buick, Chevrolet, and Cadillac vehicles. CEO Mary Barra has been transforming GM's China operations and told investors in October that by the end of the year, there would be, quote, a significant reduction in dealer inventory and modest improvements in sales and market share. The automaker lost about $350 million in the region in the first 3 quarters of this year. Stiff competition and a price war in China have had visible effects on other automakers as well. Volkswagen, while now the best-selling brand in China, is trying to deepen ties with Chinese partners, including SAIC, for EV technology to offset flagging sales. The German automaker said SAIC agreed to extend their joint venture to 2040. And GM rival Ford is transforming its presence in China to become a vehicle export hub, though some analysts have urged all of Detroit's automakers to cut their losses and exit China altogether.
Well, we'll follow with the story and other stories as they unfold and keep you in the loop as to updates as they come in. And talking about updates, you may want to get to our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel watching live. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, remember you could hit the like button and subscribe and be part of all the content that we are making available as far as the business channel is concerned. You can also join us on socials, Instagram more specifically with the handle at Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning Live right here on Afia TV. Coming up next will be a conversation around us taking a look at the week in retrospect. The Afia Business Morning will be right back after this time out with the Eastern Business Report. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Afamaga.
I am Chioma Okpala.
My name na Ifunaya Ndule, but I'm living in market pikin.
The Afia Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. The opening bell where we see activities from our select stock exchanges. The global business where we bring you up to speed on business activities, making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
Welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and this is the Eastern Business Report where we're going to be taking a look at quite a number of things, but we're going to be streamlining it today to look at the week in retrospect. specifically developing stories that we're able to, and conversations from the business scene. Of course, from the ongoing 2024 Aba International Trade Fair, the Port Harcourt refinery saga and its attendant drama, to the tourism potential of Enugu State and the upcoming 25 days of Christmas in Enugu. We're going to be seeing excerpts from all of those conversations just to bring you up to speed on what we did during the week. On Monday, incidentally, I was delighted to play host to Ijeoma Marcus yet again, who is the marketing consultant of the Aba International Trade Fair. And we took out the time to look at whether or not the trade fair has lived up to the anticipated expectations from persons participating from the government scene and from him as one of the organizers of the project. Let's see excerpts from that session.
Well, without missing words, it is loud enough for the deaf to hear now. It is bright enough for the blind to see now that the trade fair has indeed kicked off. And for all those who probably doubted the possibility of the event holding, they've seen that the event is not just holding, but is taking off and cruising at a very high altitude. So far, so good. It's been wonderful, no accident, no incident, just good business going on. I would say yes, it's beyond expectation, it's beyond our expectation because, you know, being a marketer, I mean a media person, sometimes when you are given a task, the tendency to doubt yourself is very high. Sometimes you even doubt your own capacities. But the good thing about people like us is that we are very, very optimistic people, even though we are cautiously optimistic sometimes to avoid being beaten. But the truth is, if you look at the preparation, don't forget, this fair, this international fair haven't happened in years. So putting up this after a long break was an uphill task. And looking at the success we've achieved, I can, even if anybody doesn't give us a pass mark, which I know they will, you have a lot of clips from the governor, who was obviously very impressed, and other visitors who are also very impressed with the both local and international business present at the fair. So for us, we've achieved our aim, but there's more to be done going forward, maybe 2025. Now, see, so as part of our marketing activities, I'll digress a bit. As part of our marketing activities, we visited Lagos International Trade Fair, and we sold Abia to them. And if your correspondent is coming today to the fair, he can tell you that at least there are over 10 international companies in that trade fair venue. And majority of them came in because of the success story of Aba. Now, Aba is not just about the trade fair. The trade fair is one of the many good things that are currently happening in Aba. I heard a comedian said this joke, that how can he come to Aba and he does not see pothole like he used to see? They are gone at the day when they used to use pothole to describe shop. It sounded like a joke, but there's a lot of information in that. He said before now, he said it in Igbo, that before now when you are describing your shop, you say after the first dustbin, the second one. That first big dustbin, don't stop there. Move to the second big dustbin. Then you turn by where that road is bad, where you have a lot of potholes. My shop is directly there. I'm sure with those kind of description, people can no longer find your shop. Because the roads are better. I'm not joking. The roads are better. Traffic is lighter, and hospitality is booming. You know, people are doing a lot. So, Aba, this is an addition. The trade fair is not the only good thing happening in Aba, but the trade fair is an icing of the cake, of many more icings that are to come on top of this beautiful cake.
Oh, well, that's what happened on Monday, and you would pretty much want to go to our dedicated YouTube channel to check it all out. But then on Tuesday, I played host to Emmanuel Chime, who is a seasoned public affairs analyst, and we took out the time to look at issues around the Port Harcourt refinery and its attendant drama. All of these stemming from accusations and counter-accusations from the refinery itself, NNPCL and marketers. Yet, all this development has not impacted the pump price of fuel. Let's see excerpts from this session.
Just to tell you, if you count all these records, now you now know that these guys are not ready. Up to now, they are not ready. Because that particular gimmicks we are talking about here, or the shenanigan that you saw being played, being displayed over there at Port Harcourt, while they claim that they are launching the operationality of the refinery at Port Harcourt, which is totally a factual lie. Because there has been a lot of narratives in regards to, the fact behind what we're being shown. Being it that these are old products that were being left in the dump, that these are what these guys are loading. And now you've told us that you've built an automated loading bay. So, and remember, when we have a manual system of loading, it's going to take you barely 45 minutes to load manually for a truck to load, at least a truck of 35,000 liters to load. All right, but when you talk of automated, it then means within a twinkle of an eye, it's already loaded. That's what it means. Manual is going to take you 45 minutes for a truck. But automated is now what they are using to load four trucks. And it's taking them hours. These trucks entered the bay in the morning hours, and they were there till the cool of evening. So for goodness sake, do you think we are ready? Do you think we are telling the truth? So for goodness sake, what it means is that this government from inception have not been telling us the truth. And the government is not ready to tell us the truth. And the government is not ready to act out the truth. So for goodness sake, what we are seeing here is yet the gimmicks and nothing more or nothing less. We are living and dwelling in corruption. We are living and dwelling in corruption, Obong. When you present an untrue position of a situation or a situation report, then simply there are certain things you want to cover. All right, certain facts you want to cover. You didn't want the public to know about that. All right, so and those facts, perhaps you must have benefited from it or you're about to benefit from it, and you didn't want people to know about that so that it's not going to cut your game. All right, so when you begin to hear them becoming that economical with the facts on ground, just like the Pengap said, and then you discover that there are a lot of things they want to cover. Ubong, when at first, when Dangote Refinery wanted to come to stream and begin to, sell their own products, what we heard from NNPC was that Dangote refined products are substandard. You were here, you know about it then, that they are substandard, just because they were important as at then. But immediately they fell out with IOCs. The next thing we started hearing was that they are now the ones who now told us that they are going to become the chief marketers of Dangote refined products. So Ubong, who is telling the truth here? And even by the time they signed up at MOU, to become the sole distributors, so whomsoever that must buy from Nigeria must buy through NNPC. Now, as they signed that, as the ambassador, the sole ambassador of the same fake product they told us, but why do we, how are we going to be, keep sheepishly believing the government that have been deceiving us over the years? But there are individuals who will just go behind camera and steal all these monies. And nobody will ask them questions. They will simply put up lies, establish them, sign and countersign, and present to us. And it will be documented. Ubong, the next thing is we will now send security operatives to go and begin to destroy these guys' establishment, these guys that are helping us to go and be destroying the establishment. So I keep saying it. The only thing that will help us to come out from the quagmire where we are today, these guys are not asking us to give them funds for them to establish their refineries, and they are doing very well. What we should do is to issue them with licenses. Perhaps if there are some necessary trainings we feel like, let us bring them to a fold, give them the licenses, and we know them, they will know us. We'll begin to generate revenues from these guys as well. It will no longer be illegal. Maybe it is as a result that they are not giving us tax, they are not paying us tax. We'll begin to generate the tax from them. We'll recognize them, since they are not asking us to give them money for maintenance of their equipment.
Oh, well, that's what happened on Tuesday as well. But just so you know, real quickly, you could go to our dedicated YouTube business channel to go see things for yourself. The whole episodes are there. You go to www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, do hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And while you're at it, also know that we are available on socials, Instagram more specifically with the handle at Afia Business _ do well to follow us and be part of our social media community. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll be checking out what we did on Wednesday and what happened on Thursday. Please stay. Glad to have you rejoin us on the Eastern Business Report. And yes, indeed, we're still looking at the week in retrospect. We've seen what happened on Monday and on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, we had a conversation. I played host to Daniel, who is the project manager 25 Days of Christmas in Enugu, and Gloria Favor, publicity and media manager at Umu Resort. And we took the time to look at the tourism potential of Enugu State on the back of on the heels of the 25 Days of Christmas in Enugu. Let's see excerpts from that particular session.
I think a lot of persons are very familiar with what Naira Triangle used to be in the time past. Say 2 months ago, and if you're taking the route, you see that there's tremendous changes. A whole lot is happening. You have some persons come into the park and was like, well, it has this wow factor. Wow, can this place be like this? We're turning Naira Triangle around. And for the acceptance, it's a welcoming development for the people of Enugu State. I think they really, really appreciate what is happening at Naira Triangle. Also not forgetting, if you pass there at 90, we have 500,000 Christmas lights within the Christmas village. It's something spectacular.
There's something else that's going to be taking place in Naira Triangle that is going to make the place, both during the day and at night, is going to be very active. And that is what we call the Food Bazaar and the Beer Festival.
Oh, Food Bazaar. What's that about? I like food. What's that about?
Okay, so one of the things we've discovered about Enugu State is that there are different varieties of food in Enugu State.
Right.
Like there's a whole lot. If you go to the different local governments, you discover different varieties of food. So during this period, there are going to be people who are going to come out with this meal. So you have access to varieties of indigenous meals that you could get.
This whole project is powered by Omo Resort. Omo Resort is a theme park and event management company that has been existing for years. We have park in Delta State, we have in Lagos State, we have in Ondo State, we have outside the country, America and Canada precisely, and we also have in East African countries. So this is a product of Omo Resort, but also endorsed by the Enugu State government.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. The Enugu State government is fully involved in this. Like I mentioned earlier, that we're having the Santa Storm across the 17 local governments in Enugu State and the Enugu Metropolis. I would also mention that the Office of the First Lady of Enugu State, in conjunction with the wives of the 17 local governments in Enugu State, is also involved in the Santa Storm, whereby Santa is going around distributing gifts for the Yuletide season. Then also we have the Universal Firework that is happening at the 17 local government. So the whole local government in Enugu State is actively involved in this.
Interesting. So this, when you said fireworks, you're talking about this fireworks being lit at the same time?
Yes, it's going up on the 30th at the same time across Enugu State. The whole 17 local government.
Wow.
So we have spaces for vendors,
right,
who have products that they would like to sell during this 25 Days Festival. So, and how to go about it is you can visit our website, www.christmasenugu.com.
Oh, okay.
So we have a form there that you just fill, and you'll be able to attend to that and wait to get it.
Oh, well, moving on. Thursday was another day, and interestingly, I took out the time in a monologue to look at issues around food security and insecurity in Nigeria, with special reference to the future of Nigeria and perspective. Let's take a look at that particular session real quick. Well, let's start with the first question. How did we get here? We're interested to know that Nigeria has faced food insecurity for decades due to a number of factors. Number one would be government. A government that focuses more on the oil industry at the expense of food production, and policies that do not promote equal access to food. That is a critical condition. Now, climate change, on the other hand, just like the video did share, has led to more frequent and intense floods, which has damaged agricultural systems. Another key issue is corruption, where fraud and dishonesty in the system has contributed to food insecurity. Now, one thing you should also take into cognizance is the lack of infrastructure. With Nigeria lacking basic infrastructure like good roads and electricity, how does one move food or food produce from the farm to the market? At what cost as well? And then number 5 thing I'm going to share with you just before we take a break is the lack of access to bank facilities for farmers to boost production. These are 5 things I've shared. The first, again, is government's policies and all that has not been friendly, especially with the agricultural sector as compared to the oil industry. Number 2 is climate change, which we have, someone will say we have little or no control over, but I disagree totally. There's something we could do to make these things work. Number 3 is corruption. And this one right here, we are all responsible in one way or the other, right from who is producing to who gets it to the market and the person who sells eventually, and then to the middleman and then to the end user. Everybody on that value chain is guilty somehow. We'll talk about it much later. And then the lack of infrastructure. We don't have, at most times, roads an issue. And then if there are roads, there are a lot of, I mean, you pretty much, have you traveled from Enugu to Uyo before? That road, you find out there are a whole lot of checkpoints there. The road, well, okay, but then the checkpoints, you get extorted for every single checkpoint you get into, and God help you, you don't have money to give. You stay there for hours. Imagine the food stuff you're carrying, or what you're carrying was food stuff that is perishable. By the time you get to your destination, who will buy it? See, loss of revenue. Then the lack of access to bank facilities is another issue. Many times they don't have these facilities. No, they don't. We hear a lot of government projects, but how many of them are really functional? Now, other things that could probably be looked at as issues will be poverty, like we saw in that report, because poverty is the root cause of food insecurity in the country. That's the truth. There's another issue that it pretty much relates to poverty, population growth, because many times when there is a population explosion, many times the available resources will not be enough to cater for this population, right? So yes, the low levels of education is yet another issue. Oh well, you may want to see the full episodes of these particular sessions that we had in the week on our dedicated YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business, and while you're there, do well to hit the like button, and you should subscribe so you get notifications and all business related content coming to you from Afia TV. And you can also join our social media community on Instagram with the handle at Afia Business _. And coming up next will be the segment On Afia. And on that note, I want to say thank you once, twice, a million more times for being part of the show. My name is Ubong Kings. Good morning.